Day is dawning over the beautiful bay of Rio de Janeiro, and the first rays of the rising sun bring the pale light of morning to the city and its most conspicuous landmark. This gigantic statue, said to be the largest of its kind in existence, is known as the Cristo Redemptor. It stands on the summit of Corcovado Mountain and towers over the city in gentle benediction, a most impressive symbol of an undying faith. The Avenida Beira Mar follows the contour of the harbor for miles, and at night, when its colorful lights are reflected in the water, it is a sight to behold. When the first Portuguese explorers sailed into the harbor of Rio and claimed it for the crown of Portugal, they thought it was the mouth of a river, and it being the month of January, they named it Rio de Janeiro, or River of January. In the years that followed, Portugal was too involved with her Asiatic discoveries to pay much attention to her River of January. But when other European powers endeavored to settle here, she became aroused and moved into Rio de Janeiro with flying colors. That was over 4 centuries ago, and what we now behold is an enchanted metropolis with about 2 million inhabitants and a reputation of being the most magnificent city in the world. The city of Rio de Janeiro constitutes the Federal District of Brazil, corresponding to Washington, D.C. in the United States. Brazil itself comprises about half the land area of South America and supports approximately 47 million inhabitants. The government draws no color line, nor does it tolerate the slightest prejudice toward any of its people. In fact, the mestizo, or mixed blood, is one of Brazil's proudest and most honored citizens. On the sandy beaches along the Beira Mar, we find all classes and colors, mingling and enjoying the usual diversions of a seaside resort. In all the world, there is no more beautiful seascape than Copacabana, as it skirts the sea like a jeweled crescent, presenting scenic masterpieces in which both man and nature have harmonized the grandest of their creative talents. Old Sugarloaf, standing like a rock of ages at the entrance to the harbor, is the city's most familiar landmark, and sooner or later, all visitors enjoy the thrill of a ride to its summit in this unique little aerial car. From all angles, Sugarloaf claims our attention, but from no angle can we find any resemblance to a loaf of sugar. And now we're traveling over the road to Quitandinha, a comparatively new mountain resort, about 40 miles from Rio. En route, we pass scenes of variegated beauty and eventually arrive at our destination. It was at this luxurious hotel that President Truman addressed the closing session of the Inter-American Conference for the maintenance of continental peace and security. Quitandinha was originally constructed as a public gambling casino, but after its completion, legalized gambling in Brazil was forbidden. This exotic establishment now depends largely upon tourist patronage for its existence. Our next point of interest is Sao Paulo, the second largest city in Brazil and one of the most important industrial centers in all of South America. There is keen rivalry between Sao Paulo and its older and more famous sister, city of Rio. Nevertheless, there need not be, as the merits of each are quite distinctive and individual. Ultra-modern construction is now the keynote of Sao Paulo's architecture, and here is a sample of one of her recently constructed apartment houses. Sao Paulo, or St. Paul, is now a city of over 1.5 million inhabitants. The bulk of Brazil's coffee trade centers here, along with the Brazilian headquarters of many great international corporations, which have established huge office buildings throughout the city. From Sao Paulo, we travel by airplane to the western corner of Brazil, where we are thrilled at the sight of one of the world's greatest water spectacles, the famous falls at Iguazu. The Iguazu River forms part of the boundary between Brazil and Argentina, and both countries have resort hotels near the falls. Iguazu is the native Indian name for great waters, and until recent times, very few white men have had the thrill of seeing this wondrous sight. The tremendous arc of Iguazu curves for a distance of over 2 miles, making it twice as wide as that of Victoria Falls, and about 40 feet higher than that of Niagara. There are several vantage points to view the 70 or more cascades as they come tumbling from the brink in a succession of 2 or more leaps. It is here in this remote part of South America that Mother Nature has chosen to create one of her grandest spectacles. And it is here that we now choose to conclude our visit to beautiful Brazil.